So you have scenarios. This is my favorite headline of all time. 2 years ago, right about now, when we were spiraling down in the financial crisis, Lehman Brothers had gone down, and the first country to really have its financial sector collapse was Iceland. And the headline in the Financial Times was, "Iceland calls in women bankers to clean up young men's mess."
Oh.
And the first line of the article, and it wasn't an editorial, it was an article about how Iceland called in 2 women bankers to clean up the financial disaster created by the elite business-schooled young men who had taken unmitigated risks. And it was precisely because there wasn't a balance of perspectives that we ended up in that situation. So today, when we see finally last week in Washington, D.C., the Senate passing the small business job creation and lending and tax credit bill, it had been months that had been held up. Yes. I don't understand, by the Republican Party. Finally, a few moved over to get past the number where they would be filibustering it, and now we will have increased access to capital for all small businesses. But what's incredibly important is that we continue to wedge open the way for women to have access to capital.
Yeah. I've been shocked that it's taken that long. We were talking for a year ago that we had to get the economy moving, we had to give small business access to capital. It seemed like such an easy answer.
Well, it is. It's an especially easy answer because in every one of the last 10 years, 70% of net new jobs were created by small businesses. So, hello, 70% of net new jobs, where would you put your investment?
Exactly.
With the stimulus money? Now, there was money infused into the Small Business Administration. And in fact, when that happened a year ago, March maybe, I toured the state and held press events to lift that interview for small business owners, that indeed they had lifted the guarantees to 90, removed all fees, made more money available. And it was on a first-come, first-served basis, and I'm very proud to say that after we toured the state doing press events, Wisconsin ended up getting more of those loans than New York, New Jersey, Texas, California, and Florida combined. Combined.
Wow.
Yes. So it was just a matter of bringing it into view. But this is a challenge we have in Wisconsin right now. We, with my leadership, finally started to certify women-owned businesses a few years ago. We have over 400 certified women-owned businesses. Of the more than 12,000 women-owned businesses in the state of Wisconsin. But our Department of Commerce, as we've gone through very difficult times since I've been in office, budget cuts, there isn't properly, although there's a title for a small ombudsman, it hasn't been a job that has been filled and led with vigor because of personnel changes and shifts in priorities. Well, this ought to be something that concerns all of us, and we need to reinforce the need for that job, the need to continue to work. The work that I started needs to be continued, where we weren't just going to certify women-led businesses, but connect them to opportunities and have, it's easier now with technology. We ought to be able to, as people come looking, contractors to work with, because they have to meet, for federal contracts, they have to meet certain thresholds with minority and disadvantaged and women-led businesses. Well, we ought to be able to connect women here to those opportunities on a much more efficient basis. There's no excuse not to.
No, and we're, and I don't know if you knew this, but my guest who's going to be here after you is Anna Steinfest.
Oh, no.
From AAF Research, and that's what they do. They get women businesses and diversity-owned businesses certified and help them find those opportunities that are out there.
And the state ought to be doing that on a regular basis, and we have worked with procurement to lift the opportunities into view, but we haven't matched it very well.